Hey guys, I'm Jay, and are you like me and you absolutely love the Cold Steel Code 4, but you wish it was a more practical size? So a little bit smaller, and that the darn handle scales had at least some traction on them. You are in luck because that knife already exists. Yeah, I'm going to show it to you. This is the now discontinued Cold Steel Mini Recon 1. It's model number 27TMCS. And if you're wondering, Jay, why the heck are you showing this if it's discontinued? Well, you can still obtain them. I mean, obviously, because I have one. You should be looking at some of the specs right about now. All of these measurements I had taken myself. So those of you interested, if you'd like to see this stuff, I suggest pause and read. Let's go ahead and quickly take care of some size comparisons. And we are going to start out with the much larger. This is the 4-inch bladed version of the Cold Steel Recon 1, of course. Sticking with Cold Steel, the Code 4. Now, how about some stuff that's a little closer in size, like this Benchmade bug out? Let's not forget the Mini Freak. And Spyderco time with the Native 5. And we'll wrap this up with two Kaiser knives. This is the Vanguard Dukes. Last one, the Mini Sheepdog. Starting with the blade, 2.9 inch. Now, Cold Steel refers to this as a spear point. Really, it could also be classified as a drop point as well. But for the sake of argument, we'll just call it a spear point. And, of course, the fantastic CTS XHP blade steel, which unfortunately is now gone in favor of the S35VN that Cold Steel is going to start using. It is a hollow ground blade with the black DLC finish, and the thickness is going to be 3.35 millimeters with a blade width, so from the spine to sharpened edge, 1.05 inches. They were nice enough to go ahead and include a little notched sharpening choil, if you can see there. And now notice that do you see the sharpened edge and how it just stops short of that sharpening choil? The regular Recon one does the exact same thing. However, the Code 4 does not. I mean, they actually bring that edge all the way, well, as it should be, up to that sharpening choil. Deployment is accomplished with the two removable thumb studs, which is nice. If you use those clamp style sharpeners, you can just take off the thumb studs. And then also check this out. They gave us like access ramps for the thumb studs, and they do appear on both scales. Just makes it a little bit easier to get at those studs. Standard on most Cold Steel knives is with the bronze and Teflon washers inside at the pivot. Now, there isn't really going to be a detent, but as you can see, I am unable to shake this loose, which is how it should be. I mean, it's a backlock. And for a backlock, the action is really, really good. I mean, you can see I do have to go ahead and throw a little bit of wrist to get it, but you can see it is very, very flickable. Can be completely operated one-handed. And as far as disengaging the lock goes, so I'm going to go ahead and press on it. Boop. Yep. And it does. It just simply drops shut. I love that. This features the always sturdy triad lock, and so you can see now once it is open, let me just go ahead and check. Oh yeah, there is absolutely zero play up, down, left or right. And now the mid-located backlock, now it's not too difficult to depress. Now I know that there are some cold steel knives where you really gotta lay on it to get it to disengage. This isn't too bad. I mean, it's definitely not nearly as easy as my Manix 2 backlock. I mean, this I just barely push. Look at that. This is discontinued now too. Recently discontinued. What the heck is it with me and discontinued knives? The centering here, you can see it's good, but it's not perfect. Actually, that's pretty darn good. And there is going to be just the only area of jimping that's just going to appear on the handle spine, which, to be honest, I'm okay with, considering the texturing of these scales, which we're going to get to. Now let's move on down to the handle here, and I can fit all 4 of my fingers of my medium-sized hand on this 4 1/4 inch long handle with black G10 scales. And for the most part, I mean, this handle it's very comfortable. And I mean, there's just a little bit of like sharp edges going on the inside corners, but you know what? A lot of knives have that, don't they? The G10, the texture provides just excellent traction. I mean, this thing is going nowhere in your hand. Disassembly of this now isn't going to be too bad. I mean, if you're familiar with other backlocks and you've taken other backlocks apart, I mean, this is really not going to be obviously any different. And now, one of the reasons that I really like Cold Steel knives is their ability to be able to function with little to no oil inside, which could also mean that that's going to attract less dirt, which is also going to potentially result in less maintenance. Now, in the pocket, the clip is going to be just tip up only, but that is for righties and, of course, for lefties as well. And I mean, you're all familiar with the Cold Steel stock clip. It's not deep carry, but you know what? It's really not too bad. And it is nice to have a little bit to kind of pinch to pull this out, considering the traction of the scales. Now, really, the lack of the springiness is kind of why I'm not a huge fan of these Cold Steel clips. I mean, I do actually have a solution, though. Yes, another clip that will work on this that you may already own, but you got to stick around because I will show you towards the end. Unfortunately, now the closed width, so I measured across, and it is over 1.5 inches, but not by much. It's at 1.51, and the widest section of this knife, it kind of stinks because it's really in the middle. So I can't say that the widest section is going to be down towards your pocket, because it is not. It's going to be, it may cause some problems when you're trying to get stuff into your pocket or out of it, for that matter. The handle thickness is a very, very impressive 0.40 inches. Yes, very, very slim. Before I go ahead and toss this up on the scale, I just wanted to show you. Now, of course, since this is it's a backlock, I mean, it's going to be closed construction, and there are, I mean, it's just the G10 scales. There's no liners, so there is no internal skeletonization going on here with the Mini Recon 1. So let's see how that affects our knife. Very nice. We're looking at, wow, 3 ounces, 3.1 ounces. That dust fell back on there. 3.1 ounces, which is going to be roughly the equivalent of 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like about four AA batteries, or, well, look at that, or one Kaiser Vanguard Mini Sheepdog. Oh, hey, really quick, go ahead, click on that subscribe button if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. And if you enjoyed this video, got any value from it, maybe leave a thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Now, if you'd like to know more about some of the other knives that I have shown you in this video, here's what you have to do. So at the end of this, look up to the corner, and you can go ahead, click on that icon. That'll take you to be able to watch my full reviews on the Recon 1 and the Code 4. And of course, you guys, you gotta know that I have a question for you. What I'd like to know is, regarding this Mini Recon 1, would you like to still see it in production? Would you still like to be able to buy it? Let me know down in the comment section below. I will include the Amazon link because that's where I purchased this. I'll include that link where I purchased it. Now, it may not be available, right now, today. But what I did was I left it in my wish list, and I would just go back and frequently check it. And it does, every couple months, it is available. And unfortunately, we do have to get into some of the potential deal breakers. But you know what? Don't worry. There's only 2. The first one is got to be kind of obvious, and it's the fact that it's discontinued. And the last potential deal breaker being that this really does not look like a Recon 1. I mean, not even a little bit. Yeah, sure, same colors. Really? So that's why, let me bring the Code 4 back out. I mean, check this out. I mean, how can you not? There's no denying. I mean, it's a mini Code 4. So now, you ready? This is the pocket clip solution. Yep, can you see what that says? Zoomed in just a little bit, and I was able to fit it's a Parkerized Benchmade clip, and it required very minimal modification. The only thing that I did with my rotary tool, my Dremel, I just had to widen the holes on the clip itself, just a smidge, and it fits perfectly. And it has a little bit more spring. See that? So hopefully this will not just destroy my pockets. I have a really quick story about the price. Now, I had originally purchased this, let's say argument's sake, about 9 months ago on Amazon, and I think I paid $150 for it, and it was shipped to me. I never received it. The post office, for some reason, ended up sending it back to the seller, so they had just, automatically refunded my $150. I was very, very disappointed because I wanted this knife pretty bad, and I know the older it gets, the harder it is to find. So I was kind of bummed out. Fast forward, and I found it again on Amazon, this time for $100. So naturally, knowing my overindulgent self, I had to get 2 of them, one to keep nice and one to carry. Now, what I find interesting is that the micro Recon 1, which has a 2-inch blade, that's still available. That, as far as I can see, has not been discontinued yet. And especially since now the president CEO Lynn Thompson, he's actually quoted on Knife News as saying that at the time that this Mini Recon 1 was discontinued, that there isn't a market for these small tactical hard use folders. Maybe there is now. So if you can find one of these, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I recommend it.